Welcome. My name is Cindy Bettino. My company is Transformational Healing. I'm a life coach, energy worker, and happiness expert. And thank you for joining me for a cup of happiness. We all need and deserve a cup of happiness, especially during these crazy times. So you're going to find that a lot of, I'm going to have a lot of video blogs with a cup of happiness around conflict, because it's one of the places I think that we really struggle in relationship. You know, we're either taught by our families and our parents to either avoid conflict at all cost or go to war. And one of the things that we really do wrong with regard to conflict is ignoring the minor skirmishes. It wasn't a big deal. This is just something stupid. Why should we bother? You know, conflict is ugly. It's awkward. I never win. See, that's the problem, right? I never win. It's my goal to help anyone that watches A Cup of Happiness realize that there is a better way, a healthier way, a happier way to do conflict in relationship. You see, you can't be in relationship without conflict. It's not possible. Whether it's you're in relationship with your family, whether you're in relationship with a partner or beloved, whether you're in relationship with your children, whether you're in relationship with friends, you are two unique beings that came from different families, potentially, that had different educational backgrounds, that have maybe different financial backgrounds, that have maybe even a different culture. So how are the two of you, so if I just stick with partnerships, right? How are two of you going to look and see life through the same lens all the time? Even most of the time. You're not. You're going to have different opinions, different beliefs. You're going to have maybe different religions. You know, and how do you show up in your own unique way in relationship? In a way that looks nothing like your parents, nothing like your siblings, nothing like your neighbors. It's your own unique way of showing up. And because you're two unique beings that see life through your own lens, you're going to have to find a way to do this thing called conflict. Because the question is not, you know, do I have to do conflict? That's a duh yes, right? So the question then becomes, well, then how am I going to do conflict in a way that is not harmful? That's the question. And so today's Cup of Happiness is all about the skirmishes. Because we downplay them, we ignore them, we want to make pretend they didn't happen because they're so stupid. But the skirmishes lead up to the battles. The battles lead up to the wars, right? If you don't deal with the skirmishes, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. You know, the closet that you put all of your conflict into is soon going to get full and overflowing, and that's when the really bad shit happens. So, avoidance or war. So the day I met my now husband, we were on a plane, and he was talking to me about his divorce that he was going through, and he proudly told me that they never had a fight. And I, rather than congratulating him, I said, well, that's why you're getting divorced. Because if you never take something, a conflict, a challenge, a place where you don't agree on something, whether it's politics, whether it's religion, whether it's how you do your toothpaste or where you put it or whether you put the cap on it, whatever, right? If you never deal with it, you never deal with it from A to Z or from A to Z, right? Then you never have a resolution. You never have a win-win situation. You never resolve anything. That's not good. Because we can't make pretend that we're two unique people that disagree. We can't just pretend that people's feelings got hurt and it just goes away. It doesn't. Those hurts become boils. They become infected. They become lesions. And they just get worse. So, the skirmishes. The skirmishes are a great place to start learning how to do conflict in a healthy way. They are the perfect opportunity because it's so small or minor or insignificant. It's the perfect place to practice two unique beings coming together to find their own unique way in relationship. I don't like this. Well, why don't you like this? Right? Please do this. No, I don't want to do that. So, when a skirmish happens, make sure that you turn this off and turn these ears, you can't see my ears with all my hair, ears on. There's this myth in relationship that I find so kind of bizarre. There's this myth that if I repeat back what you said, then it means I agree with you. And nothing could be further from the truth. A lot of times in relationship, we just want to be heard. We don't need to be agreed with all the time, right? But we need to be heard. And we can't hear someone if we're already figuring out what we're going to say to combat this skirmish. So if we're here and we're thinking about what we're going to say next, or what idiots they are, or, oh God, here we go again, or, you know, I need to go to the grocery store, or look, they also have done this. I need to bring these things up. Then we're never going to hear them. So the first way in dealing with a skirmish, right, is to repeat back the issue, the challenge, the belief, the expectation, whatever it is, to repeat it back to them. And make sure that you are interpreting what they are saying correctly. Because we don't always do that. We listen to half the sentence, the first half of the sentence, and then we're already in assumption mode. We know what's going to come next. But most times we don't. Most times we absolutely don't. So what do? We repeat back what we heard. And then we get the chance to say that we agree or don't agree. Because if we heard them correctly, I want you to vote for Biden. You need to vote for Biden. I hate Trump. Or you need to vote for Trump. I hate Biden. Whatever it is. Right? You can look at your spouse and say, well, I hear that you would really like me to vote for. But the beautiful thing about being in this country is I can vote for who I believe is the best candidate, and it really doesn't affect our relationship. I honor that you want to vote for blank and that you are passionate about it. I hear that. I love that about you. but I have my own reasons. And if you would like to hear them, I'm happy to give them to you. Skirmishes. Make sure you hear your spouse, and then you get to agree or disagree, and then you get to do the best part of the work, which is seeing if you can find a win-win solution, because that's the ultimate goal of healthy conflict, right? The ultimate goal of healthy conflict is that you find a win-win resolution because you are not enemies, you are partners. And you are intelligent and you are creative. You don't want to hurt the other person. You don't want the other person to submit and feel like they have a shoe on their neck or a knee. We don't want to do that to our partner. And we don't want to do it to ourselves or have it done to us. So in the skirmish, we can have an opportunity to learn more about our partner, for them to learn more about us, to see if this is a situation that needs a win-win solution. Maybe it's just something so silly, you're like, you know what? I am happy to do that for you. Happy to. You want me to put the top on the toothpaste because it gets everywhere? You really want me to? Easy, done. What's the harm? Maybe you hurt their feelings by saying something or doing something. And maybe the skirmish is an opportunity to tell them how much you love them and how sorry you are that they are hurt. And to apologize. Well, what I meant to say was, that was not my intention. So this morning, my husband and I had a skirmish. And then he was getting all huffy and puffy. And I thought he was mad at me. And he went to kiss me goodbye, and I'm like, no. And he said, what's wrong? And I said, I don't understand why you're angry at me about this situation. I did not create the situation. But the situation has to be resolved, and that means that I need you to do something about it, and you're all huffy and puffy, you're mad at me. And he looked at me and he goes, I am not mad at my wife. I am frustrated at the situation, but I am not mad at my wife. And you know what? Poof. He got the best goodbye kiss this morning. It was a skirmish. It was beautiful. So, skirmishes will help you make sure that they don't grow into battles and wars. And by practicing skirmishes in a new way will help you when you hit those really big obstacles in your relationship, because you will. And it will help you navigate those obstacles in a different way because you've been practicing the little stuff, the inconsequential stuff. So I hope you have a great week. Take care.